Howdy, folks. Marvin Forte here, KFNW Director. Welcome to the KFNW Current, Episode 9. Thanks so much for joining me tonight. I appreciate having you all here. If you can't hear me or can't see me for some reason, let me know. I did check, and it looks like things are working, but I'm in sunny Phoenix, Arizona, and I'm on my laptop, so I'm kind of on a different system and everything than I usually am. So you may not be able to hear me quite as well. Just let me know if you see any problems or hear any problems following along. Like I said, it's sunny and warm here. I'm in a t-shirt. I understand it got warmed up there a bit too, so hopefully you're out fishing and enjoying the weather. We've got a few things to talk about tonight. My buddy Matt Burdick is going to be joining me. We're going to review the upcoming Potholes Tour Event 1 coming up at the end of this month. And we'll talk about the season-long 50-50. I've got a little bit of kayak news, and there's a couple of other little events and things that we're going to talk about. Let's see who's first. Brandon Hua was first. He says, hello. Good to have you on board, Brandon. I'm trying to organize my screens here. I've got a tiny screen and a bunch of little screens that go with it. Oh, and look at that, Matt. It's a very meta thing. He's in the green room and he's texting here. That's got to break the continuum. And Brandon says everything's good. So it looks like it's just me, Brandon, and Matt so far. If there's anybody else, feel free to join in. You can comment in Facebook on the Facebook page for KFNW, and I'll see those here, and I can share them with everybody. Or you can watch us on YouTube. We're streaming there as well. Let's see. Let me pull up my notes. Well, first of all, a reminder, the Sniper Marine Northwest National Qualifier is coming up on Lake Umatilla, April 11 and 12. There is still time to sign up and get on board to fish that event. Brandon Hua is your director of that event, but he is fishing it, and Jim Davis is your tournament director. He'll be, Mathea is with us as well. Good to see you, Mathea. So Jim and Josh Ruffhorn, they'll be your tournament directors. If you have questions about the rules or any of the specifics of the event, reach out to Jim and or Josh or Brandon as well. That event, sorry, there's this one screen that keeps popping up and getting in my way. Let me put it over here. That event, the top 10% is going to qualify for the Bassmaster Kayak Series National Championship, October 14th and 16th of this year. So that's a good reason to sign up and get involved, is you have a real shot at going and fishing the Kayak National Championship for Bassmaster. I hope a few of you get to go and participate in that, and I hope you show them what the Northwest is capable of. In the news, I read a report that was pretty interesting on the state of fishing and boating in 2026, and there's a few little tidbits I wanted to share. This was in the Outdoor Wire. They ran a piece a little earlier this year, and here's some of the highlights. Licensed angler numbers are down more than 8.5% during COVID times, which kind of surprised me because I felt like they were going up during COVID when people didn't have much else to do. Tackle sales soared at that time. But then they went off about 8% between 2023 and 2024. So we had a boom from the pandemic, and then it just fell out. Same thing we were seeing a bit in the kayak world. With powerboats, new unit sales were down 8 to 10% in 2025 compared to 2024. Consumers are being cautious, and that caution is showing up at dealerships across the country. The bright spot is kayaks. Kayak sales have held up better than nearly every other boat category. Lower cost, no fuel, access to water, bigger boats can't touch. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? There's a reason our sport keeps growing when others are shrinking. And that leads to something that I want to address directly with the KFNW community. But before I do that, let's see what Brandon said. Would love to get 40 and send 4 anglers to the Natty. That would be awesome. Let's see if we can do it. Before I talk about that other related topic, let me pull in my co-host this week, Matt Burdick. There he is, red in person. Good to see you, Matt.
Good to see you. Good evening, everyone.
Woo, you're loud. Let me check your levels there.
I'm always loud.
Well, there's some truth to that. Sound levels, yeah, you're okay. You're all right. It's not that bad. Okay. So you heard what I was just saying about travel, and you and I were talking about that a little bit recently. You know, when I came up with this new idea for the schedule, and we launched this last year, this new schedule, gas prices aren't making it any easier for us to get out on the water. Even for kayakers, you know, we don't have to put gas in our motors, but we do have to in our vehicles. With the new format change, that made travel a mainstay for KFNW anglers who really wanted to fully participate. If they wanted to go after AOY or they wanted to fish most or all the events. And I'll be honest, my crystal ball did not foretell the fuel prices that we're dealing with right now. I understand that traveling to all or most of our events this year could be a hardship for many of you. I want to thank everybody who participates, whether that's on a small scale or on a big scale. Please come to as many events as you can afford to. Any effort you can make to show up at some or all the events is greatly appreciated. You know, it depends on where you live, right, Matt? Some people it's not as bad as others. The people in sort of the middle of our 3 states have a little shorter drive to get to a bunch of the events.
Yeah, it also depends on where you fill up. If you're in kind of the Portland, Seattle, the metro areas, it's more expensive. I
Yeah.
think right now, like gas is about, I think it was like 4.59 or something like that when I filled up. I don't know. I put $100 in my tank a day or two ago.
Yeah,
So
it's like 489 here in Phoenix is the low prices for just unleaded regular, and diesel's like 520.
yeah, and if you guys are traveling, Oregon and Washington, obviously more expensive. As soon as you get over the border to Idaho, it instantly drops off quite a bit cheaper. Like when I went over to Idaho, I made sure to fill up when I was there because it was, I want to say like 50 cents to $1 cheaper.
Yeah,
As soon as I
it is.
crossed the Idaho border.
I forgot last time I was coming back from Idaho, last time I was there, and I was looking for a gas station before I crossed the border, and I missed an exit or something. And then I went over the river, and I'm like, damn, now I got to pay more for the gas. Let's see, what's Brandon saying? He just renewed his Washington out-of-state fishing license, $114. Oh, yeah, and then there's always licenses too.
Yep, I'll be getting licensed for Oregon, Washington, Idaho. I
Yeah,
actually don't know if
I've
I'll get
got
my Idaho license. I might just get like a 4 day
the
because I think it's actually
Idaho. Oh,
cheaper.
yeah, there's no reason really. Well, because you're not going to do Pend Oreille. Is that the idea?
No, I'll probably just do like two. We only got 2 events there, so 4 days of fishing. Pre-fishing the day of. So I think it's actually cheaper just to buy daily a 2 day.
Oh, two days, you're saying? Yeah, yeah, it'd
Yeah.
be worth looking at that if you are traveling for one event in a state. Um, Check it out. See if it's cheaper to do a 2 or 3 or 4 day license than an annual. If you're only doing one in that state, even if you're doing two, you could do 2 days, like you said. Idaho is not that expensive. It's a cheaper license. The gas is cheaper and the licenses are cheaper, so it's not too bad. But Washington and Oregon are both pretty high out-of-state licenses. Oh, looks like Matt froze up. He'll sign back on here in a second. There he comes. Sorry about that. It happens. A little latency and somebody just gets frozen for a second, but it doesn't seem to hurt the final result. When I look at the video, like on YouTube, it's fine. Okay, let's see what else we've got in store to talk about tonight. Let's talk about potholes. So let me change our view here to the website view. Shoo, there it is. Oh, that's Facebook, because I was checking on the feed. There we go. So here we are on the website for the Potholes event. If you go to the homepage of the website, just click on this event details. And I'm working on getting some of these other events, the details up for those here while I'm in Phoenix. I'm working on some of that. But if we scroll on down, a few things that I wanted to kind of go over with this event. Let me get my view here. There we go. So this event, Potholes, is a qualifier for the Classic, which will be on Lake Bonneville in October, October 3rd and 4th. It is not a qualifier for the West Coast Championship. The West Coast Championship qualifiers are events number 2, 3, and 4. So this one's only the Classic. We are already in the off-limits period. That started April 4th. And this off-limits goes a little longer than usual. There is a huge boat tournament, like over 100 boats, 128 boats or something like that is what I heard. Nixon's Marine on Potholes. It's like the biggest event of the year. So the week before us, there's a huge boat tournament. There's a lot of fish in Potholes. Hopefully it doesn't impact our fishing too greatly, but it is affecting our off limits. I don't want anybody fishing with that many boats out there competing. So we've made the off limits go all the way through Sunday. They're doing their practice day is Friday, and then they're fishing Saturday and Sunday, their tournament. It's a 2-day tournament. So we don't want anybody practicing, getting out there and pre-fishing and practicing until Monday. That's not the norm for our other events, unless there's another one that something like this happens. You will be able to fish that weekend before, the Saturday and Sunday before, but not this time, unfortunately. There is, we'll get down to that when we get a little lower, I guess. What was that? Registration deadline is April 17th. If you want to sign up after April 17th, you're going to have to get approval to sign up late, and there'll be a $10 late fee for sign up. We really need to know how many people are coming before the event, before we're going up there. I know Brandon's struggling with that right now because he doesn't know what his numbers are exactly for Umatilla. Oh, look who's joined us. Dwayne Wally is in here saying, hey. He knows we're going to be looking at Tourney X, I guess. He sensed it. Okay, so there's the official practice period, April 20 through April 24. You can launch at 5:45. You need to be off the water at 1:45. We are going to do the pre-event briefing and the awards at Blue Heron Park. That's the same place we did it for the Classic, for those of you who were at the Classic last October. And that's the same place we did it a few years ago when we did the native event on Potholes. We were at Blue Heron Park for that as well. It's a large park, big grassy area with huge trees, and it's got a giant parking lot. So no problem handling trailers, as many trailers as we can throw at them, and vehicles, no problem. So it's good in that regard. I did look at some indoor accommodations there, but the parking just wasn't good enough. We wouldn't have all been able to park. So we're going to just stick with Blue Heron for this one. I am trying to get more indoor accommodations if I can this year for some of the other events. You know, the wind kicks up and it can be a challenge for us to do the awards. Saturday, here's all, I'm not going to go through all these times and everything, but here's all your details for Saturday. I do want to dig in a little bit though on the map here. I'm going to change my view. Okay. So you can see the map here. You can fish anywhere inside this red area. These blue pins are your launches. But one thing I wanted to point out, if you notice, Sampson's Pit, that launch is out of play for this event. There is a small bass boat tournament, a kids tournament that's happening on the same day as us, or I think they're doing both days, if I'm not mistaken. And I've talked to their tournament director, super nice guy. And he's going to warn his anglers about us being out there. I told him we'll have event flags, and I'll talk to everybody about their event as well. Keep your head on a swivel, especially if you're up in the dunes area, because people can come around those tight turns and catch you off guard if you're not paying attention. So be careful, be safe on the water. So for that reason, we're not going to use Sampson's Pit on tournament day. You can use it during practice if you want. I don't think there's going to be a problem with that. But that you'll see is, let me scroll down here. This is challenging on this little screen. Yeah, Sampson's Pit's right here. So the Lind Coulee will still be open over here. So if you want to fish this river arm, you can do that. And that's the end of the boundary right there too, at the Lind Coulee. You can use the Lind Coulee, but you can't go further down the river than that. Of course, there's the most popular launches are these three down here. You can use those. And then way up here, you've got the Crab Creek public access as well. That's an unimproved launch. That's the only one that's up here in the dunes area that you're going to be allowed to use. So you need to launch at one of these or up there at Crab Creek. Crab Creek doesn't have a giant parking lot, so if everybody tries to go up there, that's going to be a bit of a challenge. Brendan said Mr. Turney X is in our presence. That's right. All normal stuff here and here. Okay, so I have noticed that we've got quite a few newbies signed up. Let's take a look at, here's Potholes. How many do we have signed up right now? 24 signed up. But I noticed there's some new names in here, people who have not fished with us before. But a lot of the usual suspects. And some people we haven't seen for a while. We just passed Michael Mumford there. Good to see him back. And he tells me he's going to be fishing a number of events this year, if not all of them. So good to see him back. Nick Taylor's showing up. It's been a few years since he's fished with us. That's great. And Kyle Zemke is fishing with us for this one. He hasn't fished with us in maybe 2 years, but he fished Potholes the last time we fished there, and he won the native watercraft. He won the no limit, and he won 2 power hours, the first and the last power hour. He caught a smallmouth in each of those. That was the biggest fish of that hour. So he won a load of cash, and he won a kayak. So yeah, it was pretty cool. And then I think Rick Thanstrom had the biggest fish of that event. Okay, so back to newbies. If you are new to us, here's a few rules. I encourage everybody, because the rules have been revamped this year. Have you had a chance to read through them yet, Matt?
I've skimmed through them. I think I read them
Just skim through them.
maybe a month or two ago.
Okay.
So
They have been revamped. they're a little more condensed this year. I tried to get rid of some of the fluff that was in there, and shortened up some of the language. So they're a little more condensed. It's really the same. There's no real major changes to the rules in there. But I encourage everybody to read through those rules really carefully, and especially if you're new, if this is the first or one of the early events you've done or you haven't done one in a while, by all means, read through those rules really carefully.
Usually about a week
Me-
or two before the event, I go through and read all the rules just so it's, fresh in my
Fresh,
brain. Because, yeah,
absolutely.
because, when you don't fish for 6 months and haven't looked at them in a while, just
Yeah.
go through, read them every year.
Same deal with measuring boards, the catch carbonate or the aluminum catch boards, not the folding catch board. The Yak Attack leaderboard, which I'm using this year, I converted over to that. I got the gray one, the storm gray one. That's really a nice color. It's one of the easiest boards to judge that I've ever seen. It's such a light color and bright. It really provides a lot of contrast on the fish, which is pretty cool. And it's a hefty board. If you caught a big fish, I mean, it's wider and beefier, way beefier than any of the other plastic boards. So, I mean, you could put a 10-pounder on there and it would hold it no problem.
And anyone using the black catch boards, throw those in the trash. Just throw them in the
I
trash.
I think the only one we have is Ryan Flory. I think he's the only angler, unless somebody new that's signing up that I haven't seen. But I think that's the only one I've seen in the 50-50 is Ryan Flory. And it is tricky to see the end of the tail on those boards sometimes with the black. It's our least favorite board to judge for sure.
Some of the other
But
colors, like the blue too, can even be a little bit tricky
yeah,
sometimes depending on
it's
the
not
lighting.
it's not as good as the brighter colors. The green and the red are good in those aluminum boards, and the yellow carbonate board's great, no problem judging that. The Yak Attack orange board is okay, but it's kind of dark. I don't know. It's kind of a dark orange. It's not as good as the storm gray one. That's my favorite. So that's why I went to that one this year. Um, at this point, no other boards are going to be allowed. Bassmaster and some others are starting to accept the Bubba board. If there's anyone out there who has that board or wants that board and they would like to see us start accepting it, let me know. I checked it out, and honestly, I don't think it's a great board. I think you would be better off with one of these other boards that we already accept. I think there's some room for error on that board where it's harder to get a good measurement and know exactly where the measurement is. So that's why we didn't really pursue accepting it, because I think you're better off with these. But if somebody has it, already bought it, and wants to use it, let me know. I mean, I'm not really against accepting it. My personal advice would be not to use it, would be use something else. Sorry, Bubba. That's just my take. Their scale seems fantastic. So get
I
their
don't even know if
scale.
I've actually even seen their measuring
Their
board. I'm
board.
actually looking up.
It's red. It's red, and yeah. It's not that different than the catch, honestly, but a little bit. It's a little different. I've had a few people ask me about this already, which tells me that they haven't read the details on this page and they haven't read the rules. You cannot use a blank piece of paper for your identifier code. You cannot write the identifier code on your hand. You cannot have it on anything other than a KFNW identifier card, which is the same one this year that we used last year and the same one we used the year before that. So if you bought a Blue Fox tin tag in the last couple of years, you can still use that same one this year. That's one of the reasons we stopped updating the identifier card every year, is I felt bad that people were buying tin tags and they'd just chuck them at the end of the year. So if you've got a tin tag, you can use it, or you can download, print it, put in a attorney tag, or laminate it. That's what I do, is I laminate it in plastic and mount it on my board. You can use the native identifier or the KFNW identifier for either event. We're talking about potholes right now, but for either event, you can use either card. You don't need to use both. If you're only fishing the native event, then of course you're going to use the native card. And if you're only fishing the KFNW event, it makes sense. You're going to use the KFNW card. Let's see. Corey's chiming in on board. He got a yellow just for tournaments. He got the carbonate just for tournaments. I didn't like how the purple was looking for judging. Yeah, you're right. The purple isn't the greatest. It's better than the black, but it's not great. So yeah, I don't blame you, man. It can make the difference. It could make a 1/4 inch difference at some point for you if the judges just can't see it. One thing I think people don't realize sometimes, our phones nowadays are so freaking high res, right? Like you take the picture on your phone and you look at it on here and you can zoom way, 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 way in and see detail. We don't see that. TourneyX does downsample it. TourneyX, kudos to Dwayne, he did change that downsampling so that it is higher res than it used to be. And it is higher res on the judge side than it is on what you see on the public side. But it's not the original resolution. There's no way Dwayne could do that. The files would be immense. It would take a lot longer to take a lot longer to store everything and to show everything. It would just slow everything down. So keep that in mind. You know, I see people, one is the color of the board like we're talking about, but another issue that I see, and I know you and I have talked about this, Matt, is people will take the picture from like way up over their head, right? And like you can see all the water way around their kayak, and you can see everything in the kayak, and you can see the whole board, and then you see this fish on the board. Well, by the time we zoom in on that, it's pixelated. Like it's not real clear.
We're gonna give those people a new nickname of Artemis, farthest away from the moon.
There you go. Yeah, you don't have to do that. I mean, I've had people say, "Oh, I thought I had to take a picture with the whole board." No, you don't have to take a picture with the whole board. We would like to see the water if possible. We would like to see in a corner of the picture, see that you're on the water, that you're in the kayak and you're on the water. But that's more of an issue in the onlines even than it is at the live events. In the live events, you've checked in, we know you're there. And we know exactly, a lot of times we know where you are. So not as big a deal. Richard Hilton's checking in. Good to see you. Let's see. Did I go over everything there? Yes, I think so. Identifier and code must be visible in the photo. The whole identifier code needs to be in the photo. If you cut off a letter, or if the sun hits your Ziploc and there's glare on it and we can't read all the digits in the code, that's going to get denied. And we've had to do it. We've had to deny fish for those reasons. And it's a heartbreaker. You know, I hate to do that to people, but we just don't have any choice. In the interest of fairness, we've got to judge those. If a little corner of the identifier is clipped off or something, that's not a big deal. We're not going to do anything over that. We might warn you. We'll tell you, keep the whole identifier in the photo, please.
And don't be afraid to write the code more than once too. I'll usually write it two or three times on my code because I've seen it where it's saved people fish. Like one of them you can't read at all, and then you look and like, oh, there's a second and a third one, and I can read those perfectly fine.
It has saved people. Corey, we're going to look at the 50-50 here in a minute. Some of his, and I can show you one, but Corey's got it on his 6 times. He's got the 50-50 code 6 times on there. You know, the other thing I've seen pictures where the identifier is kind of in the middle of the board, above the board, but in the center. And if it's a big fish and they spike that dorsal fin up like this, I have had to deny fish because the dorsal fin is hiding the code. We can't read the code because of the dorsal fin. So watch out for, that sort of thing. That's why I put my identifier kind of all the way to the left, so that the fish's head is not going to be that big usually, not if the mouth is closed.
And as always, I'm going
Speaking
to
of,
stress it.
go ahead.
Stress it. Take good pictures. Don't leave it in my hands. I stressed that
Exactly.
all last year. Is take good pictures. I can't stress that enough. Like, I don't like denying
100%.
fish, but if it's a bad picture, sorry,
We have no
not sorry.
choice. We have no, and what's worse, like, it's one thing if it's just, they had trouble with the fish or something and the mouth's open, or it's got a mangled mouth and we have to deduct it, something like that. I mean, that kind of stuff happens. I get it. But when you've done something that we have to make a judgment call, like when your finger's just a little too close to the gill plate, when the mouth's just, we can't tell if it's cracked or not. Like, you're leaving it up to us then. We have to look at it and make a decision and say, is this good or is it a deny? Just like Matt said, don't give us that option to even think about it. And I will say 90, at least 90% of our photos, we look through it, we check everything, and we approve it. We don't have to do anything. Don't you think that's about right? Maybe 10% we have to put a note or a deduction or a denial or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah,
So
I should track that sometime. It'd be interesting data. Uh, let's
I mean,
see.
I leave
So
a lot of notes, and so if you guys do see catch accepted, go in and look. And sometimes there is notes. I think a lot of people don't even look at that. I don't think they even see the
it,
notes we send them.
if Dwayne is
So
still here, another kudos, thanks to Dwayne. Dwayne has made that more obvious. In the app now, there is a notification bell at the top. And if you've had notifications that have been sent to you, when you go into the app, just like Facebook or Instagram, that bell's gonna highlight and show you that you've got a notification in there. So be sure and click on that bell and read the notifications, because just like Matt said, sometimes we accept a fish, but we'll warn you. We'll say, the angle on this is not good. It's really hard to tell if the mouth is open, so you need to improve your angle. And we approved it, but you were close to getting a deduction or a denial. And so that's one good reason to make sure and you read all those notifications. Fish's mouth must be closed. A deduction of 1/2 inch will be taken for an open mouth. Our crew is pretty good about open mouths. We've trained all of you very well to close those mouths, but we do still see it. And especially for the newer people with us, I can't stress that enough. You've got to close the mouth. What I do is I angle my board slightly, so that puts the weight of the fish going down at its mouth, and that weight will help close the mouth and keep it closed.
and if the mouth is open too much, I've denied fish for if their mouth is just wide open.
It can be
So
denied or it can be deducted for even more than that 1/2 inch if it's really wide open. And if it's really wide open, we'll give you a stern warning, and maybe, and a deduction of some sort. But if you continue to do it, like I have seen that where somebody submits 4 or 5 fish that all have wide open mouth, which tells me they didn't read the rules. You'll start getting them denied at that point. We'll give you a pass on a fish or two to get your act together, but if you continue to just ignore the rules, you're going to get denied at that point for anything that you upload like that. Make sure the fish is oriented the right way. Head should be to the left. Its left eye should be up, pointing up towards the sky. Of course, if the photo is rotated 90 degrees or 180 degrees, we'll fix that. That's no problem. Somebody just asked me about that the other day because their photo was sideways or something. That's not a problem. Josh Latimer says, fellas, it's nearly time. Yes, it is. We're getting close, man. We're already in the off limits. Here's my information and Matt's information at the bottom of that page. If you need to contact either one of us, this is how you can do it. Phone is probably the best way, but email, if it's not urgent, email's fine too for either one of us. There is also a link down here. You see this to the Native Watercraft No Limit Big Bass Power Hour. So that'll take us to the details for that event. Same day, same time, more prizes, more cash. We've got a slew of sponsors for each of the power hours. We give away $1,000 for every hour. And we give cash and prizes to the No Limit winners. In the KFNW event, there's a 5-fish limit. So your best 5 fish are going to count. Make sure you understand that TourneyX will cull for you in the KFNW when that happens. Upload more than 5 fish, and TourneyX will put your best 5 fish on the board, and it'll hold the others in reserve. That way, if you get a fish denied for some reason or deducted, and it gets bounced out of the leaderboard, then your cull will take its place. TourneyX will automatically move one of those submissions up and put it in your board. We've had people lose an event because they had more fish, photos that they had taken, but they didn't upload them. And they had a fish denied for some reason, and then they fell out of first place for that reason. It breaks my heart to have to do that. So pretty much same details. We've tried to really match everything up exactly. This link is to the same map that we were just looking at. The rules are slightly different. If anything, the native rules are a little less stringent about certain things. But if you go by our rules, you'll be safe with the native rules, but it's a good idea to read them both and make sure you know the score all the way around. What am I forgetting about, like, rules and safety stuff? You want to talk about the safety stuff, Matt?
Yeah. Always wear your PFD. That must be worn pretty much all times. The only time you're allowed to take it off is when you're on land, or if you're, taking off a sweatshirt or putting on a sweatshirt, you need to stop fishing, obviously. White 360 flag, all that stuff. So, my biggest thing is just go read the rules on the safety stuff. Like, don't take my word for it. Go read it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Matt said, you do have to have a light if you're launching in dim light conditions, or if it's stormy conditions or something. So if you're launching at launch time, it will be kind of dark, pretty dark. So you'll need a 360 light. Most of you use a VisiCarbon Pro, but any kind of 360 light where people can see over, like just a headlamp is not good enough. You really need to have something that can be seen from all angles. Sometimes I see people with a really low light that's like below their body. That's not good, because then you can't see it from every angle. Same thing with the flag. It needs to be up there. This event is in Washington. That means everyone participating in either event, KFNW or Native, must have a yellow event flag. If you don't have a yellow event flag, you can order one on the website. I am out of town right now, so it's a little tough for me to get stuff shipped out to you, but you can select event pickup and save the shipping if you do that too. You don't have to pay for the shipping, and you can pick it up at the pre-event briefing before that. Or if you forget to do that and you just want to buy it, I will have them on hand at the pre-event briefing. You can pay for it there and get an event flag. But that is a requirement from the state of Washington. We have to have those on every kayak that's out there. It's not something that we do to try to sell flags. We are forced to do it by Washington. If it's an event in Oregon or in Idaho, you don't have to use those flags. We like it. We think it's a great idea, especially if you already have the flag, to use it in those other states, because it lets everybody else on the water know that you're fishing an event, that you're not out there just fun fishing. So maybe they'll give you just a little wider latitude. One can hope.
The only thing I would also stress on too with your PFD, make sure everything's zipped and clipped. Make sure it's zipped clear to the top. If I see it's
All the
down
way
an
up.
inch or two, I
Buckled if
mean,
it has a buckle. Yep.
yeah. But if it's down like an inch or two, like I'm probably just gonna give you a warning. But if I have to mention again, then I'm just gonna DQ. If it's half zipped, I'm probably just gonna DQ you on the spot and probably ask you to get off the water. I mean, I can't force you,
That's
but
right.
I'm gonna ask you to get off the water.
That's right. And that's an important distinction with PFD is it's not just a warning. It generally, if you don't have one on, you're not going to get a warning. You're DQ'd.
Yeah,
You're out of the
yeah. If
event.
you don't, yeah, you don't have it on,
That's right.
yeah.
And that goes for practice. Any of the days in practice, if you're out there and you don't have a PFD on, and we see you or somebody else sees you and gets a photo of you and gives it to us, we don't have any choice at that point. I mean, we have insurance. There's liability involved here. I'm not going to mess around with that. Everybody has to have a PFD on all the time, a vest type PFD. You can use an inflatable. We don't like inflatables quite as much because they can fail. You got to keep up with the cartridge, change it. But if you really prefer the inflatable, especially the auto inflate, we don't want people using manual inflates. We'd rather use an auto inflate. But yeah, if that's what you want to use, you can use it. I just encourage you then to change those cartridges frequently so that it's ready. Rich said, and this is a great point because there was somebody, who was that? I don't think it was Rich. No, it was somebody in Idaho. They didn't somehow I don't know, something happened and their location services was turned off on their phone. And so I got their images and they were all their house. All the GPS showed was their house. It didn't show the lake at all. I had that happen with somebody here in Oregon earlier this year too. But
It
luckily,
was
none of those
a
people
lot.
uploaded any giant fish. They were 14, 15-inch fish, 16-inch fish. So I think they'll be able to replace them no problem. But I would hate to see that where somebody makes that goof and then catches a 21 or a 22 and uploads it, and we have to deny it. Oh,
And if you guys have issues with your GPS not showing up, if you have Apple, contact Marvin. If you have Android, contact me. Um, Apple, I think, is a little bit easier to troubleshoot. Android's a pain because there's like
yeah,
3 or 4 different spots you have to go in and
that's right.
check. You got to check basically the camera, your wherever your photos are saved, the Turn EX, and then also there's another one in the background. I think on your camera settings too, where it's a privacy setting, and that's
Yeah,
the
I
biggest
know. I know
culprit.
there are two places on the Android phones. I was going to show you guys something. They've changed something on the photo app. Let me bring up some photos here. Here's some beautiful photos taken down in Sisters in Lapine. So I'm on my iPhone here, and I'm looking at some photos. It's always hard to do this. It feels so backwards. Everything's backwards. And there's some fish photos in here. So let me click on a fish. So here's a fish, right? And they've changed it on the iPhone. It used to be you would swipe up and then you could see the GPS data, but they've added, if you see right at the bottom here, they've added a little eye in a circle, an info button. And if I click that, I can do this without seeing it. There's the map. So then I can scroll up and I can see where that was caught, what time it was caught, what the settings were. If you take a photo anywhere, or look at a photo that take a photo at work and then go home and look at it and swipe up or click on the eye the info I button, and you can see that. And if you can see that it was at your work, then it's working. Your GPS is working. Sometimes what happens is the location services is on the phone, but it's not communicating the GPS. I'm sorry, I'm shaking the table here a little. I'm on my brother's kitchen table. And so it won't make it to TourneyX. In TourneyX, it'll use the location you were when you uploaded the photo. If you get that message in TourneyX using current location, that means your settings are not right. If you see that message in TourneyX, you're not doing it right. Brandon's stealing my spot on Crane. That was a photo on Crane I just showed. That's what sorry, I should have shared that with everybody. He said he's stealing my GPS coordinates from that photo on Crane of that 13-inch fish. Yeah, so if that's what happens, then all you have to do, what I usually recommend then, is you can go in and turn all your services on in TourneyX and the settings on your phone, or you can just delete TourneyX, reinstall it, and when you first open it, it's going to ask you a bunch of stuff. Do you want to give permission for this, 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 and this? Say yes to all of those. Say yes to all of those settings and make sure that TourneyX is getting that data, that it's on your phone and that TourneyX is getting it. Otherwise, you could run into trouble. That's why I love the 50-50. I've had a few already that people have done that, and I've been able to fix it when they've only uploaded a couple smallish fish, and it's like, oh, okay, big deal. Those ones aren't going to count, but I can replace those easily. I hate to see that at a live event. What we see at live events sometimes is their settings aren't right, and they're taking the photos while they're out on the water, but then they're uploading them when they get to the awards. And we'll look at the map, and all their fish, it says, were caught at the awards location, which in this case would be illegal because it'd be like Moses Lake instead of Potholes, because the park is right by Moses. So yeah, just check all those settings. Make sure everything's working before you get on the water. And if you're in the 50-50 and you're getting approved, chances are it's okay. The only thing is sometimes we don't know. If they're uploading the photos in real time, if they're taking the photo and their settings aren't right, but TourneyX says, we're using your current location, and they upload it, well, then it's going to show up as if it was caught wherever they were when they uploaded the fish, even if it's a different location on the lake. And we're not necessarily going to know that. That's what happened with the guy in Idaho recently, is he uploaded most of them when he was on the lake, but one of them, unfortunately his biggest fish of the day, he didn't upload it till he got home, and I couldn't accept it.
Yeah, and so with Android, like I said, there's 3 different spots where you have to give permission to to share the location. One's TourneyX, one's wherever your photos are stored, and then one of them's your camera. And then the big one, and this is the biggest culprit, is you actually go in and take a picture, like you're going to take a picture, and it's your save location. It's in your settings, but you have to be in like you're taking a picture. And I don't know if that's going to show up.
It's blurry. Maybe move back a little.
Yeah. But anyway,
it's not coming across very well.
Yeah, you probably aren't going to be able to see it, but go to take a picture and then find your settings, and at the top it's going to say save location, and that's the biggest culprit on Android. It's usually that one. So I've seen it with I don't know how many phones, and usually it's just a quick setting to change. But if you don't know it's there, because you have to go and take the like you're going to take a picture, and then usually it's a different menu, and then you got to go into the settings, and it's kind of a pain in the butt and a hassle to get to.
Sure. Yeah, it's a little easier on the iPhone. It's location services for your camera, and then making sure that the settings are on in TourneyX. TourneyX has the access to that. Those are the only 2 things on the iPhone that affect it. Okay, let's. I think that's everything we need to talk about as far as safety and details. Is there anything we've left out? Again, like Matt said, just read all the rules really carefully. We will go over some of this at the pre-event. This video is going to kind of take the place of what I was doing last year. I was doing a little video for the anglers, and this is kind of replacing that. The only thing we're not able to do here really is like the weather report. I would do weather stuff, and obviously it's too early for us to worry about weather on the 25th right now. So I'll just include that in an email. I'll send an email from TourneyX. That's another little point to bring up, especially for anybody who's newer. If you're signed up for TourneyX, you signed up with an email address. So when we send emails from TourneyX, they are going to go to that email address. If you're not getting those emails, it's usually because of some issue with your mail server. The one that I see the most, almost always when I have somebody that says I'm not getting the emails, they've got a Comcast email address. For some reason, Comcast is blocking emails from TourneyX at the server level. They're blocking it. It's not like going to be in your spam folder. It just gets blocked by the mail service. So if you've got a Comcast address, don't use it on TourneyX. Use a Gmail address or a Yahoo address or something else. Set up a free email somewhere else and use that with TourneyX so that you get those emails. We'll also send you, Matt was talking about messages on the catch photos. We can send you push notifications too. So if it's like a serious thing that we see, something that's like a problem, like you're getting a fish denied, or we see something you're doing wrong, we may send you a push notification. Even on the season-long 50/50, we'll send you a push notification to let you know about that. So make sure you've got push notifications allowed from TourneyX on your phone. If you've got them blocked, you will not get those push notifications. We'll also use that in the event of inclement weather. A big storm blows in during a tournament and we're calling people off the water. That's one of the ways we're going to try and contact you is through push notifications. So for safety reasons, we ask that everybody make sure push notifications are on. And also go into TourneyX in your profile and make sure you've got your emergency contact info in there. We get it on the waiver too, but it's sometimes a little easier for us to access it off TourneyX. I can go on TourneyX and hit one button and it just dials that person right away if I do it on my phone. So that's more convenient than digging through the waivers and trying to find somebody's phone number. And then their handwriting is bad and I can't read it anyway. So Matthew Pollock's asking about boundaries for Pend Oreille. That question's too soon. Matthew, sorry, I don't have that information for you yet. I haven't really worked on Pend Oreille much yet because it's our last event of the year. It's in September. But rest assured, it'll be a lot of water. There'll be more than enough water for everybody on that event. All right, Matt, let's switch back to website view and let's take a look at the 50/50 and see what's going on. Who's our leader, Matt?
Be honest, I have no clue. I haven't been paying attention.
It's right there. It's Corey Carlisle, last year's winner. Last time we did the podcast, I was on with Jim Davis and Brandon, and we looked at it, and Corey still didn't have any largemouth. He had only been catching smallmouth up to that point, which we gave him a lot of credit for because he considers himself more of a largemouth angler, but he really committed himself to getting smallmouth right away. Because in the colder weather, the smallmouth are a little easier to lure than the largemouth. So he got his bag of smallmouth right away, and then he started going after largemouth, and he's got 10 fish up there, and he's already. We can't see the whole. Can we? It's because of my small screen. There it is. There's his total, 212.25 already in April. We've been going just over a month, and he's got 212.25. Brandon Noir is behind him with 200 even. Joff Linson is next up, 194.50. Michael Jarvis right behind Joff with 192. Josh Howard from Washington, 180.50. Garrett Harrison from Idaho with 178. That is 6 places. Those are all the anglers that have a full bag of 10 fish. Our minimum on the season long is 14 instead of 12 like it is for our live events. Oops, sorry. I did not mean to do that. There we go. Okay, and then who's up after that? Shailesh didn't sign up until like, I don't know, maybe 10 days ago, a week, 10 days ago, and he's already on the board in 7th place with 145 inches. And he's got both largemouth and smallmouth. Jacob Jarvis, he's got 137.75 in 8th place. Pat Moore, he's got some recent fish there that we haven't even judged yet. 128.75. Rich Childs has got 5 largemouth, some good ones, a 21 and a 20 and a half. Andrew Larson is in 11th place. Rick Thanstrom with all smallmouth so far in 12th place. Shelby Clark Reeves, I would imagine. I'm sorry if I have bastardized your name. Good to see somebody on the board there. 21 inches is her biggest fish. Andrew Janke's got 5 largemouth. He's in 14th. And Kevin Amaral's in 5th with 5 smallmouth. I think I went down to 15 because I think we're going to pay 15 places this year. So if you're discouraged, you see Corey's like insane 212.25, and you're like, I can't do that. There's no way I'm going to be able to do that. Well, you don't have to do that. We're going to pay out 15 places, and you'll at least make your entry fee back. So the way I see the 50-50 is it's a great way to just track all your best catches, your best largemouth and your best smallmouth of the year in one place, and keep track of them all. And if you have a pretty good year, you don't have to have a stellar year, but if you have a pretty good year, you got a real shot at making the top 15. We've got, how many people signed up? 77 signed up. That's huge. That's great. But still, that's only, that's like 20%. We're going to pay like 20% at 77. If we get to 100, then obviously we're paying 15%. But I think that's pretty cool. Oh, darn it. I did it again.
And our new anglers, I would strongly suggest also joining the season long because it's a great way to get
to practice.
Kind of used to taking pictures, figure out what works, what doesn't work for you. But the practice is huge because you mess up on the season long, who really cares? You mess up on the tournament day, and that big fish, you don't get that picture, and it could hurt you.
Yeah.
So just
absolutely.
getting those reps in on the season long is an awesome way to do it.
Absolutely. First event of the year, I always feel rusty. I get out there and I got to measure fish and stuff, and I feel it takes me a while to kind of get in the groove. And the season long really helps with that. If you get out early and catch some fish and get them on the board in a more kind of relaxed way. One thing I forgot for us to look at.
I'm not too worried about that. I don't measure any fish anymore during the events.
You and I had a tough time last year at the live events. We didn't catch a lot of great fish, so we didn't. But here's the biggest fish of the competition so far. Corey Carlisle has caught a 22.25 inch smallmouth. This is the biggest fish. It's bigger than any largemouth anybody has caught yet either. So, that's pretty darn impressive. That is a chunky, healthy fish too. It's not like one of these old beat up haggard fish. It is a really healthy, robust fish. Pretty cool.
We saw some 23 or 22 and a half,
23 and a
inch.
half. Rick caught a 23 and a half smallmouth. That's the record that we've seen from a smallmouth. And Chris Glover last year caught a, how big was your fish, Chris? Was it also 23 and a half? It might have been. I'll look that up real quick here.
Yeah, because I could have sworn there was like one or two 23 and a half. There were some big fish submitted last year. Some really
Well, you
big
remember
fish.
Josh Duggar caught a 23 during the native event on Lake Umatilla. That's pretty cool. And then, Rick, and I'm not giving any secrets away. Rick lives right near a door shack, and you can take one look at the picture of that 23 and a half and know where it was caught. It's got big, giant shoulders, and it's kind of silvery instead of bronze, so you kind of know where it was caught. Um, let's see.
Big old kokanee eaters.
That's it. They're just chowing down on kokanee up there. Where is the season long from last year? I wanted to double check. Oh, I know where we can look. Let's look here. Let's do that. We can both look here because I can do it on the KFNW website. We can just go to the citations right here for 25. There's Chris, 23 and a half. So that's it. So it's funny. Our record largemouth of all time and our record smallmouth of all time is 23 and a half, which is crazy. And yeah, last year, our biggest smallmouth of the year, Andrew Janke, caught a 22 in a tour event. He caught that thing. He caught it on the Willamette when we fished the Willamette last year, which is an impressive fish on the Willamette. Very impressive fish for the Willamette. Chris caught that 23 and a half. And there, Rick caught a 21 and a half. Rich Giles had a 22 and a half. Largemouth. Some good fish.
Yeah, but the Willamette
Really,
only has small fish. It doesn't have any big ones.
that's what they used to say, but that's why we started fishing there more. It's like, it's not really true.
Yeah, the last couple of years we've seen the size increase. We'll see if it
See, and then
holds
look at this.
up.
It's funny. Like Corey is all the way down here. He won the 50-50, but he's all the way down here. He's not even close to the best smallmouth of the year. It's about consistency. His whole bag, everything was over 20 inches. It wasn't like he caught one great fish. He caught 10 really good fish. There's Joff Linson, Josh Howard. Who else we got here? There's Andrew. He got a big largemouth as well. There's Brandon. There's Rick on largemouth as well. Look at the fat Brandon Hua 21 and a quarter largemouth. That thing's redonkulous. So I'm planning to have the citation pins. If you're on this list, I'm planning to have these pins for you at Potholes. And I'll have it at the other live events as well. You'll also get stickers this year. You'll get a couple of stickers for each of the citations. If you caught a smallmouth, you'll get 2 smallmouth stickers, and if you caught a largemouth, you'll get 2 largemouth stickers with the year on it. You can stick them on your kayak or something and keep a record as you catch citations each year. Pretty cool. But yeah, I should have those. I'm a little tight on time because I'm traveling so much this month, but I think I'll be able to. I'm going to try and elicit some help from somebody to come over there and help me bag up all those pins from the names. What else? Let's see. Is there anything else on my list that we haven't touched? No. Your deadline for registration for Potholes is April 17. I think I said that already when we were looking at the event, but it bears repeating. You can sign up a little later than that, but you'll have to pay a $10 late fee if you do. So sign up on time, sometime between now and the 17th at midnight at 11:59 p.m.
And that's not this Friday, that's the next Friday. So it's coming up
It's 10
quick.
days. 10 days from now. Only 10 days. Yeah, that's coming up super quick. I will not be fishing this event. With the native event, I really can't. And I need to judge all the fish for the KFNW event. So I might be out on the water in the morning. I'm probably going to bring my little kayak, my little LTE, and I might get out on the water in the morning and try and get some photos of people out on the water, which would be cool. I will have the Titan X. Whoever wins the biggest bass of the day in the KFNW wins a native watercraft Titan X 12.5. Corey Carlisle won it last year. He won the biggest bass of the native competition on Umatilla. He had a really good day. And so I will have the kayak there. We'll have it on display at the awards. And hopefully, whoever wins it, they might be able to carry it home with them, depending on their vehicle situation, what they have. If not, I'll talk to you about it, and we'll figure out some way to store it until we can get it to you. I can bring it back to Portland, or we can leave it up in Tri-Cities at Jim's place, or if it's Idaho or something like that, maybe somebody from Idaho can bring it back with them, but we'll figure it out. Let's see, here's Josh. What's Josh got to say? That's Josh Howard. Can fish caught in the Umatilla Bassmaster Qualifier event be submitted to the season-long as well? Absolutely yes. We have no events on the Columbia this year in KFNW. That's the first time in a long time. Well, except for the Classic. I take that back. The Classic is on the Columbia. But we don't have any regular tour events. So there's really no conflicts at all. So absolutely, anything you catch in the Bassmaster event, you can submit to the season long. So that's another good reason to sign up for the season long before the Bassmaster event. Is another place to possibly win some money out of those fish. Great question. I'm glad you brought that up, Josh, because I didn't think to tell people that.
The season long, we're doing big fish for large and smallmouth this year again.
Correct. I think it was $20, so it's a good payout. It's really a great payout, especially with like most of the people sign up for it that signed up. Not all, but most. So yeah, you get 50 or 60 people that put in $20. That adds up pretty quick. Well, unless you've got something else, Matt, I guess I want to put a shout out to our fantastic sponsors. Our title sponsor, Snake River Manufacturing, best trailers in the West or the East, I would say. Just fantastic kayak trailers and DIY trailer parts. If you're building your own kayak or you're modifying a jet ski kayak or some other type of kayak, and you want to add on some parts to make it better, that's the place to get it. Go to their website and you'll find it all. Brandon's asking me a question. Let's see. Still need to use the KFNW eventer for the 50/50 for our event, right, Marvin? Yeah, you will need to use two identifiers if you're fishing the Bassmaster and you want to submit to the 50/50. You need to slap a KFNW identifier in the photo as well. Great catch there, Brandon. Thank you. I would hate
Yeah, because we're going to need to see your code also.
Yeah, we'll need to know your code. I mean, I guess they could technically write it on his, but no, I think we need to keep it KFNW identifier for that. Snake River, we talked about. Our presenting sponsor this year, Diamond Parking and Diamond Self Storage. They have been a sponsor of ours for many years, as has Snake River. I can't thank them enough. We could not run this series without those two this year. They really have powered us through the year. Native Watercraft, who sponsored us for a few years now. We will, in addition to the Titan X that we are giving away for the Native Watercraft No Limit Big Bass Power Hour, we are also giving away a Native Watercraft Titan X 12.5 for KFNW. Similar thing that we did last year. We've got 5 events this year. I'm going off the top of my head. I think I said 3. I think you got to complete 3 events and you'll be in the running. If you complete 4 events, you'll get 2 entries. If you complete 5 events, you'll get 3 entries. So fish as many events as you can or you can afford to with gas prices like we talked about earlier. And you'll be in the running to win a Titan X. Chris Glover, not only won the biggest bass of the year, the top citation prize, but he won the Titan X. His name was drawn when we were at the CJ Strike event. Pulled his name out of the hat, and he happened to be there, so it was pretty cool. But the kayak wasn't there at that one. But I think we will have it this year. We've got some more dealer situations. And then Boggs Footwear. Boggs Footwear was a sponsor of ours for a long time, and they were an in-kind sponsor, just gear. They would give us gift certificates, and their shoes are fantastic. They make these great muck-type boots, heavy-duty, insulated neoprene and seamless rubber boots that are great for really cold, nasty conditions. But they also make some smaller neoprene and rubber boots that are really great for kayaking all season long. They have a new line of kind of Crocs style shoes that are really cool. They're a tour sponsor this year, like Native Watercraft, so they have helped us run the series. They're also, in addition to that, donating gift cards for a free pair of shoes or boots. So I'll have a bunch of those at our events to give away. And I will have samples there at I'll have them at Potholes, and I'll have them at the rest of the events of the year. You'll be able to see some of these shoes and boots that I'm talking about and see if you like them. If we can really make an impact and buy some of their stuff and make a good impression, then I think we'll be able to keep them around for a long time. They're a great company. And last but certainly not least is Northwest Tackle in Caldwell, Idaho. Joe Bockenstedt is the owner there. He has been a big supporter of us this year. He is our media sponsor. We couldn't do the KFNW Current without Joe and Northwest Tackle. It's a great little tackle shop. I got to visit him there last fall. And he's also a dealer now for native and bonafide. He's selling native kayaks and bonafide kayaks. So if you're looking for one of those, Joe's, and you're near the Caldwell area, he's a great one to call and get that. And he's got some special deals. If you're a KFNW member, you get some perks if you buy your kayaks from him. There are a couple of other dealers. Nixon's Marine is a dealer now in the Tri-State area or Tri-Cities area, and Alder Creek here in Portland is a longtime dealer, but they're doing more fishing kayaks now. They used to do more of the touring kayaks. They're doing more fishing kayaks. So if you're in the West or in the Tri-Cities, you have some other options. But certainly if you're in the East near Idaho, give Joe a call and he will hook you up. Great tackle shop. He's got lots of gear. He does full installs too, or full setups on kayaks. So if you want it rigged out with, forward facing and motors and wiring, lighting, electronics, he will do all of that for you and set it up. I'm excited to see TJ Osonicki is on the Northwest's fishing team this year, and he's in a new kayak. If you've been watching on Facebook, he posted a photo of it recently. I'm excited to see his kayak all rigged up. I think they ran into a snafu. I talked to TJ the other day, and they ran into a bit of a snafu on a part that wasn't working, or they had to wait to get. And so I'm not sure if he's going to have it in time and all rigged up for Potholes. It's going to be close, but he's hoping that it'll be ready to go. We've got a bunch of great gear sponsors this year as well. G. Loomis has stepped up, and we'll have a really nice G. Loomis rod at every one of our tour events this year. Perennial favorites are back. ZR Customs, PNW Bass Candy, Yak Attack, Discount Tackle, huge this year. Our first angler out of the money gets a check from them, gets a gift certificate from them, not a check, rather. And they're helping with some of the big bass and everything. Diamond has stepped up, and they're helping us cover the cost of the citation winners and Angler of the Year, Rookie of the Year, some of those things. So can't thank them enough. What else? What did I leave out, Matt?
Read the rules. Take good pictures. That's my biggest thing. I can't stress that enough.
Sound advice. All right. Well, if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me and or Matt. We can answer them. We will both be up there at Potholes. I don't think I'm getting up. I'm not sure because I got to go by Nixon's and pick up the giveaway kayak. And I think one of the reps from Native might be there with me as well. Oh, thank you, Greg. Greg Marshall reminded me. Three Rivers, they are our big bass sponsor this year. So huge thanks to Shannon there at Three Rivers Tackle, another fantastic tackle shop here in the Northwest, selling really unique stuff that's you just can't get just anywhere. We've got a bunch of great tackle shops that work with us, and I'm grateful that they all work together well. Like it's a little dicey situation, right? I got to be careful about working with sponsors that are stepping on somebody else's toes. And those three tackle shops are all great, but they're different. They all have kind of a different niche and different things they're doing. And I'm glad they all three support us. Or actually, I think I see Greg was answering somebody else. Mark asked, who is the name of the tackle shop in Tri-City? So it worked both ways. He's answering Mark's question, but he also reminded me, thank you, to do a shout out to Three Rivers Tackle. If you're going to fish the Umatilla event, head on up and see Shannon at Three Rivers. It's not that far away. It's like 30 minutes away. And I think if you don't have lodging there, shop, I think Jim, oh yeah, it rules.
It's an awesome tackle shop. Like you really can't find the stuff he has in there. You can't find at anywhere else. You can't find it at Cabela's or Bass Pro or Sportsman or Bimart.
Discount has some of it. Discount has some of it, but Shannon has stuff that nobody else has. There's some stuff that almost nobody else has. Maybe the hookup here in Phoenix. I might stop by there while I'm down here because they have a bunch of unusual Japanese stuff.
Yeah, but it's always so nice to be able to pick it up and look at it. Be like,
oh yeah,
actually,
well,
I like
if
this.
If I go to the hookup, I'll be able to do that here. But yeah, but you can't usually do that in Phoenix. Most of us are not in Phoenix.
Well, you can't do that online either. You can't just pick up and look at it. It's just pictures, and pictures sometimes are not the best.
Oh, Greg, I missed that. Greg also said Northwest Tackle Shop's looking great with the new rigging area. So he's been by and checked it out. That's awesome. I'm looking forward. When we go fish Cascade, I'm planning to go by and see Joe at Northwest Tackle. And I would encourage everybody, if they can, to do that. There was something else I was going to say, but now I've lost it. It's lost in the ozone. Thanks a lot. Our next KFNW Current. Let me look real quick and see if I can tell you what the date of that is. I need to start doing that. I need to start getting that prepped for. I guess I don't have it right here, but I think I have it right here. Yeah, I have the date at least. Our next one is 4/28. So that'll be our Potholes recap, and it'll be a primer. This was the Potholes primer, is what this current episode was. The next one will be a recap for Potholes. So we should have on the winners from that event, including the Native. We're probably going to do a special Native podcast on the Native page as well. I got to talk to Vinny about that, but I'm sure we'll do that for the winners of but for the KFNW, we'll have you on. So mark that on your calendar if you think you're going to win. 4/28, so just 3 days after the Tuesday right after the event. And that will also be the primer for the spring opens. So we've got 4 spring opens that are coming up. This is what we used to call the season kickoff open. We changed it since it's no longer the first event of the year. We're calling it the spring open. And so sorry, I said we were going away, but then I remembered some stuff we hadn't talked about. If we look at the schedule right here are the spring opens. Can you see that? Yeah, you can see that. On 5/9, we won't be at Anderson Lake. I don't know where we're going to be yet in the Coeur d'Alene area. I've got somewhere that I've asked for a permit for, but we can't do Anderson, I found out from Idaho Fish and Game. So it's going to be somewhere else, but it'll be somewhere else in that Coeur d'Alene area, Coeur d'Alene, Spokane area. It'll be somewhere up there. We will be at Brownlee Reservoir in Idaho at Woodhead. Greg Marshall is going to be your tournament director of the day for that one. He's going to help out by helping run that one. We'll be at Dorena Lake again in Oregon. And we'll be at Alder Lake up in Washington, in Western Washington. These will be a team event. These are a pro-am style event. So we randomly pair up a more experienced angler with a less experienced angler to fish together as a two-person team. It's a 3-fish limit for each angler, but the team score counts. So that means if only one person catches all 3 and the other doesn't catch any, you're probably not going to win. So there's incentive there for the 2 team members to really work together and make sure that both anglers have fish on the board, hopefully 6 fish, 3 fish each on the board. The purpose of these events is a low-cost event. It's like $25, not a big payout, but we have some gear to give away this year, which is cool. But the whole purpose of this event is it's a way to get new anglers involved in KFNW. Like, it might be a little intimidating to go to Potholes and fish against 100 people for $100 a pop. And if you do the name event too, $140 for that. Throw down a bunch of money and try and compete against everybody. That can be a little intimidating. So the Spring Opens, the idea is it gets people on the water, trying it out, low stakes, not a lot of money. You get to meet some people. You meet your teammates, certainly, and you fish with them all day, and they can help you out, show you how to measure fish, how to upload fish, and all that kind of stuff. It's just really more of a fun event, a lot of good camaraderie. I've had people in the past who were like skeptical about it. Oh, I don't want to do that. It's not, it's not for AOI points. It's not, super competitive. I'm super competitive. And those people went to the event. I talked them into it. I'm like, just go. It's fun. Just go with the right attitude. And to a person, every one of those people who's made that complaint has reached out to me after and said, that event was so great. We got to do that every year. And I'm like, you think so? That's great. I'm glad. I'm glad you're on board. Like, you see how it goes and you're just like, oh, this is just fun. It's just a lot of fun, and you might win something, you might not, but you get to fish and have fun and hang out with some other kayak anglers.
And I probably will be staying down at Dorena the night before, camping down there, so
that was
it might get a little rowdy.
Of moving it to May, right? It used to be when we did it for the season kickoff, the campground wasn't open yet a lot of times when we go to fish there, and the fishing wasn't as good. But now with May, the fishing is killer. Last year, it was really good on Dorena. I mean, I caught a couple of like 20s. I mean, it was a good day. And my team came in second. Like, I caught some big fish and we didn't even win. So it's pretty impressive. But yeah, the campground will be open and it'll be nicer weather for camping too by May 9th. It should be nice and warm. Alder might still be a little chilly up in Washington. It's kind of close to Mount Rainier, but I think it'll be fine. All right, Matt. Well, thanks. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Hour and a half in, that's about right. I try and keep it under an hour and a half, hour to hour and a half. So we're right on time. But thanks, everybody. I'll be back at home, I think, for the next current. I think I'll be on my home computer, so we'll be back to sort of the normal thing. It'll be a little easier for me. Hopefully this worked out for everybody. You could hear and see everything well. Any questions, reach out to us. And otherwise, please stay safe on the water. I appreciate you all. Good night.
Have a good night.